The story begins with a soft alarm that does not ring on your phone, but inside your body. Your belt feels tighter, mornings are heavier, and your lab results whisper words like high triglycerides and insulin resistance. This is metabolic syndrome, silent, slow, and frighteningly common. Today, guided by the ideas in Fast Like a Girl, we will walk together from quiet fear toward informed, gentle action. Please remember, always consult your physician before changing your lifestyle. Imagine Hannah, 45, once full of energy, now moving through her days like she's walking underwater. Her doctor mentions metabolic syndrome and prescribes medication, but inside she feels a deeper question. Is my body betraying me, or is it asking for help? Hannah's journey, inspired by the principles in Fast Like a Girl, will mirror your own doubts, fears, and hope. As you watch, ask gently, what is my body trying to say right now? Hannah has tried everything she was told, eating less, counting calories, forcing herself onto treadmills. The scale barely moves, and her cravings are louder than ever. This is where many people lose hope, believing they lack willpower. But metabolic syndrome is not a simple math problem. It is a hormonal symphony out of tune. Fast Like a Girl suggests, instead of fighting harder, learn to listen to the rhythm beneath the numbers. One evening, scrolling through health videos, Hannah hears a phrase that stops her. It's not only what you eat, it's when you eat. The concept of fasting appears again and again, but not as punishment, rather as conversation with your hormones. In Fast Like a Girl, fasting is described as a way to work with your biology, not against it. For someone with metabolic syndrome, this single shift in thinking can open a new door of possibility. Let us gently name what Hannah is facing. Metabolic syndrome is a cluster of conditions: increased waistline, high blood pressure, elevated blood sugar, abnormal cholesterol, or triglycerides. Together, they quietly increase the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. Think of it as a smoke alarm warning of a fire that has not yet fully burned. Fasting, done wisely and with medical guidance, may help reduce the smoke before the fire grows. At the center of metabolic syndrome stands a hormone called insulin. Imagine it as a gatekeeper, deciding whether sugar stays in your blood or enters your cells. When we eat frequently, especially refined carbohydrates, insulin is constantly called out like an overworked guard. Over time, cells stop listening. This is insulin resistance. Fast Like a Girl explains that fasting gives insulin a chance to rest, and your cells a chance to hear its knock again. Many people hear fasting and imagine harsh starvation. The approach in Fast Like a Girl is the opposite. Fasting is deliberate, timed rest for the digestive system and hormones. Between meals, your body can finally switch from storing energy to burning it. For those with metabolic syndrome, this may mean improved insulin sensitivity and reduced abdominal fat. However, fasting is not safe for everyone, so please discuss any plan with your physician before you begin. Fast Like a Girl centers the truth that women's bodies are guided by powerful hormonal tides. Estrogen and progesterone rise and fall across the menstrual cycle and life stages, from puberty to menopause. These changes affect how women respond to fasting, stress, and carbohydrates. If you are a woman with metabolic syndrome, your experience is not the same as a man's, and that is not a weakness, but a different design. Your rhythm deserves respect. Hannah once downloaded a popular fasting app built on male-focused research. Strict hours, daily long fasts, no adaptation to her cycle. At first, the weight dropped, but soon her sleep worsened, anxiety rose, and cravings exploded. Fast Like a Girl explains that fasting too aggressively, especially before menstruation or under heavy stress, can backfire for women. Healing metabolic syndrome is not about being tougher. It is about being wiser and more attuned. Although Fast Like a Girl speaks primarily to women, its lessons touch the men around them as well. Partners, fathers, brothers who also struggle with metabolic syndrome. Men do not have the same monthly cycle, but they too have circadian rhythms, stress hormones, and insulin responses. When a household shifts meal timing and food quality together, everyone's metabolism can benefit. Think of it as tuning an entire family orchestra, not just a single instrument. Back in the clinic, Hannah hears numbers that feel like a foreign language. Fasting glucose 118, triglycerides elevated, blood pressure creeping up. The word pre-diabetes floats between them. Her heart sinks. Shame whispers that she has failed. Yet, metabolic syndrome is not a moral flaw. It is a biological state shaped by food environment, stress, sleep, and hormones. Fast Like a Girl invites Hannah to replace blame with curiosity and practical steps. Facing a pile of advice, exercise more, eat less, sleep better, Hannah feels overwhelmed. The book's message arrives like a gentle hand on her shoulder. Start small, start kind. One more hour between dinner and breakfast, one more glass of water, one processed snack replaced with real food. For a body with metabolic syndrome, these tiny wins are like slow drops of color into clear water. Over time, the whole glass changes. Instead of jumping to extreme fasting, Hannah begins where Fast Like a Girl often suggests, a simple 12-hour overnight fast. Dinner at 7 p.m., breakfast at 7 a.m. No late night snacking. For a body used to constant grazing, this pause is revolutionary. During these resting hours, insulin can fall slightly, and the body begins to tap stored energy. If you consider this step, please share it with your physician so it fits safely into your treatment plan. Inside Hannah's body, the story is changing. As the hours pass after dinner, blood sugar begins to fall. Insulin, no longer constantly triggered, drifts down. Slowly, enzymes that break down stored fat wake up like workers on a night shift. In some cells, internal recycling crews called autophagy begin cleaning damaged components. For people with metabolic syndrome, these processes may help calm inflammation and improve metabolic flexibility over time. On her third evening, Hannah sits on the couch as a familiar urge rises, the call of sweet dessert. Her mind says, "You deserve this after such a hard day," while her body's new rhythm whispers, "Just 20 more minutes." Cravings are not a sign of weakness. They are a trained reflex between dopamine, habit, and blood sugar swings. In Fast Like a Girl, cravings are treated like dragons to be understood, not just slain. During her early fasting experiments, Hannah sometimes feels lightheaded or tired. The book emphasizes what many overlook: hydration and minerals. When insulin drops, the body excretes more sodium and water, which can lead to headaches or fatigue. A pinch of mineral salt in water, herbal tea, or broth can ease the transition. Especially if you live with metabolic syndrome or take medications, discuss these adjustments with your healthcare provider for safety. For women still cycling, Fast Like a Girl offers a key insight. Some phases welcome deeper fasting, others need more nourishment. In the first half of the cycle, when estrogen rises, longer fasts may feel easier. In the week before menstruation, when progesterone dominates, the body often asks for more calories and complex carbohydrates. Ignoring this rhythm can trigger anxiety, insomnia, and stronger cravings. Following it can transform fasting from struggle into flow. Hannah, like many viewers, may be approaching perimenopause. Cycles become irregular, sleep changes, and weight gathers around the waist. Fast Like a Girl frames this not as decay, but as a new hormonal landscape. With lower estrogen, insulin resistance can worsen, making metabolic syndrome more likely. Gentle, well-timed fasting, strength training, and quality sleep become even more valuable tools. As always, such strategies must be tailored with your physician to your unique health history. Beyond monthly cycles lies another powerful rhythm, your circadian clock. Fast Like a Girl echoes research showing that our metabolism is more active during daylight. Eating large meals late at night can worsen blood sugar and fat storage. Hannah experiments with a simple shift: more calories earlier, lighter dinners, and finishing food a few hours before bed. For a body with metabolic syndrome, this alignment can feel like turning with the current instead of against it. After several weeks of stable 12-hour fasts, Hannah feels ready to gently extend to 14, then 16 hours on certain days. Perhaps she finishes dinner at 6 p.m. and eats again around 10 a.m. The book highlights that this range often nudges the body more firmly into fat burning, which may be helpful for abdominal fat and insulin resistance. But these longer fasts are tools, not rules. Symptoms like dizziness, extreme fatigue, or mood swings are signals to adjust and consult your doctor. Metabolic syndrome often means the body is stuck in sugar burning only mode. Metabolic flexibility is the ability to switch between burning glucose and fat depending on availability. Like a hybrid car switching from gasoline to electric, a flexible metabolism wastes less and performs better. Fast Like a Girl describes how consistent, reasonable fasting windows can retrain this switch. Over time, Hana notices fewer crashes between meals, a sign her body is learning a new skill. Hana learns that what she eats when she breaks her fast is as important as the fasting itself. If she ends a 16-hour fast with white bread and sugary coffee, her blood sugar will still spike, straining her insulin. Fast Like a Girl suggests breaking fast with healthy fats, clean proteins, fiber-rich vegetables, and slow carbohydrates. For a body struggling with metabolic syndrome, such choices are like gently lowering a fragile bridge rather than slamming it down. In her new eating window, Hana begins to prioritize protein. Adequate protein helps preserve muscle, stabilizes blood sugar, and increases satiety. For people with metabolic syndrome, muscle is a crucial ally because it acts like a sponge that soaks up glucose. Fast Like a Girl encourages women not to fear protein, but to view it as a strong friend that keeps them grounded, especially when extending fasts. Again, your exact needs should be personalized with your clinician. Raised in a culture that feared fat, Hana once sought only low-fat labels. Yet Fast Like a Girl explains that natural fats, olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, fatty fish, are key to hormone production, brain health, and satiety. For metabolic syndrome, replacing refined carbs with healthy fats can reduce blood sugar spikes and cravings. It is not about drowning food in oil, but about weaving in the right fats like threads that strengthen the entire metabolic fabric. Carbohydrates are not the enemy. The type and timing matter. Fast Like a Girl distinguishes refined sugars and flours from slow, fiber-rich carbs like vegetables, berries, and whole grains. For someone with metabolic syndrome, centering meals on fiber and using higher carb foods strategically, such as in the luteal phase or after exercise, can maintain hormonal health without overwhelming insulin. Instead of fearing every grain of rice, Hana learns to ask, will this carb serve my rhythm? Even with perfect fasting and food, chronic stress can lock metabolic syndrome in place. Cortisol, the main stress hormone, raises blood sugar to prepare for danger. In a modern world of constant alerts, this surge never fully ends. Fast Like a Girl reminds Hana that her nervous system must also be nourished. If she fasts aggressively during high stress, her body may interpret it as threat, not healing. Calm, safety, and rest are part of her metabolic medicine. On nights of poor sleep, Hana notices fiercer cravings and higher hunger the next day. Science confirms this. Lack of sleep disrupts hormones like leptin and ghrelin, which regulate appetite and fullness and worsens insulin resistance. Fast Like a Girl treats sleep not as a luxury, but as one of the strongest tools against metabolic syndrome. Gentle evening routines, reduced screen time, and earlier dinners help her body slide into deep, restorative rest. Exercise used to be a grim chore for Hana, a way to burn off guilt. Fast Like a Girl offers a kinder frame. Movement is communication with your cells. Muscles contracting signal the body to pull glucose out of the blood, easing insulin resistance. Even simple walks after meals, light strength training, or dancing in the living room can shift her metabolic story. For metabolic syndrome, consistency often matters more than intensity, and joy more than perfection. One stressful weekend, Hana abandons her plan. Late night pizza, sweets, no fasting. Monday morning, her body feels swollen, her mind full of self-attack. Here, Fast Like a Girl offers a crucial lesson. Healing is not linear. Metabolic syndrome develops over years. It will not disappear in days. Harsh self-criticism spikes stress hormones and can create another spiral. Instead, Hana is invited to observe, learn, and gently step back into her rhythm without punishment. To understand her progress, Hana begins tracking a few numbers. waist circumference, fasting glucose, perhaps even using a continuous glucose monitor with her doctor's guidance. Fast Like a Girl encourages such tools as sources of information, not shame. If a reading is higher one day, instead of panic, she asks, "What did I eat? How did I sleep? Was I stressed?" Metabolic syndrome becomes less of a mysterious curse and more of a feedback system she can influence. As Hannah reads stories from other women following similar rhythms, she realizes something profound. She is not alone in her struggle with metabolic syndrome. Shared experiences about cravings, plateaus, and small victories help dissolve isolation. Fast Like a Girl often highlights the power of community, whether online groups, supportive friends, or family who join lifestyle changes. Metabolic healing grows stronger in the soil of connection and understanding. Beyond blood sugar and weight, metabolic syndrome often includes silent inflammation, a low-level fire inside the vessels, liver, and fat tissue. Fast Like a Girl points to studies suggesting that fasting periods may lower inflammatory markers and support cell repair. When Hannah chooses real foods, moves her body, sleeps deeper, and honors fasting windows, she is not only changing her shape, she is cooling that hidden flame. This is prevention in its quietest form. Hannah's ultrasound once showed a fatty liver, her waist measured larger each year. Fast Like a Girl uses the image of a warehouse overflowing with unused boxes. Excess sugar is turned into fat, stored first in the liver, then around organs and the abdomen. With repeated fasting windows and improved food choices, this warehouse can slowly be cleared. For metabolic syndrome, even a few centimeters lost around the waist often reflect a real shift in internal health. High blood pressure, another pillar of metabolic syndrome, is like a river running too fast through fragile banks. Fasting can support weight loss and insulin sensitivity, which indirectly reduces pressure on vessels. Additionally, the stress-reducing practices woven into Fast Like a Girl, breathing, sleep, gentle movement, help relax vessel walls. Hannah notices, over months, that her readings gradually decline. These changes must always be monitored with a physician, especially if medications are involved. In metabolic syndrome, blood can become crowded with lipids, LDL particles, triglycerides, like highways jammed with overloaded trucks. Fasting and dietary changes may improve these markers by reducing liver fat and altering how the body packages fats. Fast Like a Girl emphasizes that the goal is not just lower numbers, but healthier particles and vessels. When Hannah's follow-up labs show lower triglycerides and improved HDL, she is not just lucky. She has been quietly remodeling her internal highways. Before, Hannah's days were a roller coaster. Cravings, sugar hits, crashes, irritability. With aligned fasting and food, her blood sugar curve begins to flatten. Fast Like a Girl describes this as moving from chaos to calm inside your veins. Stable sugar means clearer thinking, steadier mood, and fewer urges to snack. For metabolic syndrome, this stability may be one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself, an internal environment where healing becomes possible. Hannah once described her mind as wrapped in cotton. Metabolic syndrome can affect brain function through insulin resistance, inflammation, and poor sleep. As she follows the rhythms in Fast Like a Girl, she notices moments of surprising clarity, like clouds parting after a storm. Research suggests fasting may stimulate brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein that supports neurons. Always under medical guidance, these practices can help not just your waist, but your mental light. Many women with metabolic syndrome also struggle with PCOS, irregular cycles, or intense PMS. Fast Like a Girl discusses how insulin resistance and high insulin can worsen these symptoms by increasing androgens and disrupting ovulation. For some, strategic fasting and improved insulin sensitivity may lead to more regular cycles and reduce symptoms. However, these conditions are complex. Any change in fasting or diet for PCOS or severe PMS should be closely coordinated with a qualified healthcare professional. Some readers of Fast Like a Girl live with autoimmune conditions like Hashimoto's or rheumatoid arthritis, often overlapping with metabolic issues. Fasting may influence immune regulation and inflammation, but it can also be stressful if pushed too far. Hana learns that in such cases, the body must be listened to even more carefully. Shorter fasts, nutrient-dense meals, and medical supervision are essential. Metabolic healing here is like walking on a beautiful but narrow mountain path. The book is clear. Fasting is powerful, but not for everyone or every season of life. Pregnant or breastfeeding women, people with a history of eating disorders, certain medications like insulin or sulfonylureas, and some chronic diseases may make fasting risky. If you have metabolic syndrome plus any of these conditions, your safety comes first. This video cannot replace medical advice. Please speak openly with your physician before attempting fasting so that your plan protects you. As Hana explores the fasting landscape, she hears many terms: 5-2 diets, OMAD, 1 meal a day, alternate day fasting. Fast Like a Girl focuses less on trendy labels and more on how each pattern interacts with female hormones and metabolic health. For someone with metabolic syndrome, jumping directly to extreme methods can be destabilizing. The book encourages building a foundation first, 12 to 16-hour fasts, aligned with cycles, before considering more advanced or occasional extended fasts under supervision. Occasionally, Fast Like a Girl discusses longer fasts, 24 hours or more, as tools that may deeply activate fat burning and cell recycling. For a person with metabolic syndrome, these can be tempting shortcuts. Yet Hana learns, powerful tools require stronger safety measures. Extended fasts can affect blood pressure, medications, electrolytes, and mood. They should only be done rarely, with careful preparation, and ideally medical supervision. More is not always better. Enough is the true target. To make the rhythm tangible, Fast Like a Girl offers sample maps. More frequent, 15 to 16-hour fasts during days when estrogen is higher, and reduced fasting with more healthy carbs in the late luteal phase. Hana pins a simple chart inside her pantry door. Instead of asking daily, "What am I allowed?" she asks, "Where am I in my cycle and what does my biology need?" Metabolic syndrome is addressed not with rigid rules, but a living, breathing plan. Men watching may wonder, how do these ideas apply to us? While men do not have the same monthly fluctuations, they still benefit from respecting circadian rhythm, managing stress, and creating gentle fasting windows. A man with metabolic syndrome might start with 12 to 14-hour fasts most days, aiming to stop eating several hours before sleep and focusing on muscle-building exercise. The emotional message is shared. Your body is not your enemy, but your most loyal partner. Food is not just fuel, it is memory, family, and culture. For Hana, refusing a sweet at a family gathering once felt disrespectful. Fast Like a Girl invites creative compromise, saving special treats for the eating window, reducing portion sizes, savoring slowly, or bringing a healthier dish to share. Healing metabolic syndrome does not require abandoning your heritage. It asks you to become the composer of how cultural foods fit into your new rhythm. On lonely nights, Hana once reached for food to fill emotional emptiness. Many with metabolic syndrome know this well. Fast Like a Girl gently distinguishes between physical hunger and emotional hunger. Instead of using willpower alone, Hana experiments. When a craving hits, she pauses, drinks water, journals, or calls a friend. If the hunger fades, it was likely emotional. Over time, she builds a toolbox of comforts that do not harm her blood sugar or self-respect. The most constant voice in Hana's life is not her doctors or families, it is the one inside her. Fast Like a Girl encourages transforming this voice from harsh critic to wise caregiver. Instead of saying, "My body is broken," she practices, "My body is sending signals, and I am learning to listen." For those with metabolic syndrome, this shift in language is not poetic fluff. It reduces stress, supports sustainable change, and honors the decades your body has carried you. Half a year into her rhythm experiment, Hana wakes before her alarm. Her waist is smaller, yes, but more importantly, her mornings no longer feel like drowning. Lab tests show improved glucose, triglycerides, and blood pressure under her physician's watchful eye. Metabolic syndrome, once a looming threat, is now a map she understands. She still has stress, cravings, and imperfect days, but she has tools and trust in her body's capacity to adapt. If you see yourself in Hannah's story, consider a gentle 7-day experiment, always approved by your physician. For 1 week, aim for a 12-hour overnight fast, no late-night snacks, and one processed food swap for a whole food option daily. Add a 10-minute walk after your main meals. Track your sleep, energy, and mood. This is not a test of willpower, but a conversation starter with your metabolism, inspired by Fast Like a Girl. As our journey closes, remember, metabolic syndrome is serious, but it is not the end of your story. Your body holds ancient wisdom, and Fast Like a Girl offers one lens to read it. Fasting, food quality, sleep, movement, and self-kindness can, together with medical care, change your trajectory. Please discuss any ideas from this video with your physician before acting. If this resonated with you, subscribe, like, and share your next small step in the comments. Let us walk this healing path together.